Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast as we take a look at the national title game, which will come your way in prime time Monday night. Battle of unbeatens between Michigan, which is a 4.5 to 5 point favorite, and Washington, which has had a wonderful year behind quarterback Michael Penix Jr. and, of course, the brilliant coaching of Kalen DeBoer. And that's a name you might not be that aware of, but he has had an incredible emergence at Washington in 2 seasons. If you don't know his story, he's late 40s. He was a good player at a small college. He's from South Dakota. He went to Sioux Falls. Then he coached at Sioux Falls. He coached Sioux Falls to like 3 NAIA championships. Then he bounced around as a offensive coach at, a couple different places. He was at Southern Illinois, Eastern Michigan. Then he was at Indiana. When Indiana went to the Gator Bowl, he was there as an offensive coordinator. He went to Fresno State as the head coach, was there for 2 years, did a very good job there. Then he jumped to Washington. First year at Washington, he goes 11-2. They beat Texas in the Alamo Bowl, and now this year they're undefeated. He is his teams improve on both sides of the ball. He's an offensive coach, and his offense with Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback, who again has also not gotten the acclaim. You can make a very good case he's been the best college football player in the country the last 2 years. I mean, that's how good he's been. He's done nothing but win. In the last 2 years, Penix Jr. and the head coach are 24-2 at Washington. And believe it or not, in 9 years as a head coach. Now, remember, the first 5 years as a head coach were at Sioux Falls in NAIA football. But he went 67-3 there. His lifetime record right now as a head coach is 103-11. It's impressive, very impressive. And 24-2 in 2 years at Washington, and now they're in the national title game. So this is a coach with an incredible future. He's already been a coach for a very long time. Since he was a young man, he was a player. He was a very gifted baseball player and football player at Sioux Falls. He had a great an All-America type career as a player, became a coach. He's been a coach for a long time. Obviously, he's, gone through that, and, he's basically played in the Bush Leagues. He's bounced his way around. He's a protege of Jeff Tefford. He replaced him at Fresno State. He did a good job there. Then he goes to Washington, and now Washington has not seen these heights since the halcyon days of Don James. Washington playing for the national title. And this is a very dynamic Washington team. Their offensive line got voted the best unit in the country. Their quarterback was number 2 in the Heisman. They are unbeaten this year, and they get a very, very good Michigan team that deserves to be favored. Harbaugh, obviously, is a very good coach. We all know that. He's won on the NFL level. He's won everywhere he's gone. He had really struggled with beating Ohio State early on and then playing well in these playoff games. First, he had to conquer Ohio State. He's done that. Now he's beaten Alabama from behind in overtime. So he beat the big name. And now they play in the national title game. Now they are one step away. The Wolverines are one step away from winning that national title, which will mean so much to that school and so much to Harbaugh personally. It's been a year of craziness there, obviously. I don't know what his future is there. I don't know about all the rumors about him coming back to the NFL. Put all that aside right now. This is about this game. Michigan is the best balanced team. I'm not going to say they're the best team that Washington has played, because I think that Georgia and Oregon were as good as any teams in the country. And Washington twice beat Oregon. They beat them in a game Oregon should have won during the regular season. And then in the bowl game, in the title game, in the Pac-12 title game, they were, believe it or not only undefeated, but they were underdog 9.5 points to Oregon, which was outlandish. Now, I thought Oregon was going to beat them. I thought Oregon had a good chance to win the national championship this year. Oregon got off to a slow start in the game, came back, and couldn't get it done, and lost by 3 points again to Washington. So Washington beat Oregon twice. Now they're going to face a Michigan team that I think is the best balanced team that they've seen all year. I think Michigan is about as well balanced as any college football team can be. They have a running game. They have a powerful offensive line. They have a defense. They have a defense that can rush the quarterback. Look what they did to Alabama. They can play in the secondary. They have some studs in the secondary. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They have an adept quarterback. They have a tight end who can really play. They have everything. I'd give Washington a little edge on special teams. Michigan was not good in the Alabama game on special teams. They almost lost the game because of special teams. Their punt coverage, their punt return game obviously needed a lot of work this week. But they have explosiveness. They have the running game. They have an incredible balance between offense, defense, between pass and run. They are as well balanced as a college football team can be. This game, though, comes down to one thing and one thing only. These are two very, very good teams. These are two superbly coached teams. These are teams that know how to play in these games. Neither one of these teams is not going to be prepared. Neither one of these teams is going to be in over their head. Neither one of these teams isn't capable of coming from behind in this game. They both are. But this game boils down to one thing, and really one thing. If Michigan pressures Penix, they win. Case closed. If they don't get a lot of pressure on him, and most teams do not, then he is going to carve them up. A lot of people thought Texas was going to get to him because of their big tackles, and they didn't have the quickness. Michigan is tricky. They're quicker, and they also do a lot of games and a lot of stunts and a lot of tricky stuff. Washington will be ready for it. They have a very cohesive, very smart offensive line. They're not a big team. But I'm not worried about Michigan's size here. I'm worried about the prowess of their defensive line. Michigan's going to be able to move the football on Washington. They're going to be able to run it on them. They're going to be able to pass it on them. They're going to score points. Michigan's going to score points in this game. They're going to score upwards of 27 to 30 points in this game. Write that down. They're going to score points. The question is, the Michigan defense, particularly the defensive front, against the Washington offense. Washington has to throw the ball for big numbers to win the championship. They have great wide receivers. They have a quarterback who is as accurate. This guy, if you haven't seen him, will remind you of Tua. He's left-handed. He's deadly accurate. He doesn't have a great arm, but he's got a good arm. He's a very confident player, and he runs this offense like a maestro. He threw for 430 yards against Texas. He can carve up anybody. He has terrific wide receivers. Their running back got hurt at the end of the game. If you were watching the Texas game, I don't know his status, but I doubt he's going to be 100%. I don't think they're going to do a lot running the ball against Michigan anyway. It comes down to their passing game. If they don't pass the ball for 350 yards in this game, I don't think they can win. Now, if they pass the ball, we're going to be in one of those shootout games where maybe last team with the ball wins. Maybe somebody gets up 10 and tries to hold on for dear life. That kind of game. I would say this. I don't see there's any way that Washington blows out Michigan. But Michigan is a live underdog. I loved them against Texas. I thought they should have been favored. I think the line in this game is actually a little lighter than I thought it would be. I made it in my head 7 before the game. It came up 4.5. It's now 5. I thought it would be as high as 7. I think Michigan's better than Washington, but Washington can beat Michigan because of the coach and because of the quarterback. Washington knows how to play tight games. They know how to play in very close games. They'll be very well schooled. They will try to get rid of the ball quickly. They will get rid of the ball quickly. They will have a lot of wrinkles for Michigan, no question about it. Michigan's going to be able to line up. They're going to run the ball with power. They're going to get the ball out in the flat to their backs like they did against Alabama. They're going to get the ball down the field a couple of times. They're going to hit the tight end for big plays. They are going to move the football. They're going to move the football well. Obviously, you never know about turnovers. You don't know which one of the punt returners is going to muff a punt on his own 10, which one is going to have a field goal block for a touchdown. That kind of stuff is you just never know. But the bottom line is Michigan is the stronger team. But Washington is a legit team in every way. They will play spirited defense, although they're not great defensively. They will play their game offensively. They will have a definitive plan, and they will look to attack with their passing game. This guy will remind you of Tua, and he will remind you of Drew Brees with his accuracy and how quickly he gets rid of the ball. He is a very, very good quarterback. And a very, very confident quarterback. He cannot be taken lightly. I think there's a 20% chance Michigan wins by double digits. I think there's very little chance that Washington would ever win this game by, more than a touchdown. Michigan is going to be in good shape offensively. The question is, what does the Washington passing attack do to Michigan, and how do they combat it? And can they get pressure on the quarterback? If they do, that's the whole shooting match. If he's running for his life, if their receivers aren't getting open, they won't be able to operate. If you see them early in the game and he's bink, boom, bink, boom, sit down, you're going to be in for a 37, 34, 41, 34 shootout. I would expect the winner of this game to be over 30. I don't think Michigan's going to keep Washington from scoring. The question is, can they disrupt them enough that they're in control of the game? I think Michigan wins 36, 30, 35, 28, something like that. I think there'll be plenty of points. I think they'll win by a touchdown. And obviously, if he's got the ball late and Michigan's up 10 points, you have a very good chance of him getting a backdoor cover. He's that kind of quarterback. Their passing attack is never going to stop. It's going to be relentless all the way through, and it is deadly accurate. I mean, if you haven't seen them play, this guy will put the ball right on his receivers, and his receivers know what to do with it. They are a very, very dynamic passing attack. And they are a very, very well-coached team. But I think that Michigan's strength and balance is just too much. I don't see a weakness in Michigan. I think the quarterback is going to find things far easier than he did against Alabama. I think you're going to see their tight end have a big game. I think you're going to see Corum have a big game. They're going to try and dominate the game with their running attack and control it with their running attack. They'll be able to do that. But the game will probably turn into more of a game where there's a lot of chunk plays, a lot of 20-yard plays, a lot of big plays, rather than bing, 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 bing. I think there'll be a lot of big plays in this game. They're going to move the ball. Texas moved the ball. Texas scored plenty of points. But Texas couldn't stop them at all as they passed for 430 yards. And I'll tell you, when it comes down to just coaching and execution and quarterback play, you can't do it better than Washington does. They do it as well as any team in the country. No question about it. So this is going to be a very, very good championship game. I think there's a lot of storylines. I think this will be the introduction of Washington and these very dynamic personalities to the nation. And obviously, the nation knows Harbaugh very well. They know the saga of what's going on with Harbaugh. And they know that, this is his moment after winning, pulling that game out of the fire against Alabama. There was a time in that fourth quarter when they looked like Alabama was going to take charge. It didn't happen. And then they came back. They made the fourth down play in the flat, turned it into a big play, got the tying score, and then got the run from 17 yards for a touchdown in overtime. And then on fourth down, when Saban tried to gap him with his quarterback and ran right into a wall. That says everything that you need to say about Michigan's defensive front, which got 6 sacks in the game. Penix doesn't get sacked 6 times. Most games, he'll throw the ball 35, 40 times and get sacked once. 2's a lot. He doesn't have trouble getting rid of the ball. If he has trouble getting the ball off in this game, that would be the thing that would turn this game upside down. Michigan has the ability to do that. If they can do that, they can dominate the game. That's the only way they do. Otherwise, I think you're looking at a game that will go back and forth. And eventually, I just think Michigan will wear them down. I love the Washington team. I have wagered on the Washington team over the last 2 years a lot. I did wager against them in the Oregon game. The first one, not the second one, because the second one I thought the line was stupid. I thought Oregon was going to win, but I thought the line was insane and went to 9.5. The line was crazy. I thought Oregon was a better team. They beat them twice. I think Michigan's the better team. Would I be stunned if Washington won? No. I've seen this team do too many things in the last 2 years. And I thought they'd be here. I don't think they are as strong as Michigan. And I think Michigan's balance between run and pass, between offense and defense, is so solid that I think that they will eventually just wear Washington down and win the game. So I'll take the Wolverines by a touchdown. We will do a podcast after the Bills game on Sunday night to get you ready and we'll talk about review Week 18, but also preview the playoffs. And we will do one after the national title game on Monday night in what I think should be a terrific terrific competition. A very, very good game between two very, very good teams that have clearly earned their way into this game. Should be a good matchup. Enjoy. We'll talk to you down the road.